Hey, welcome back. This is Jay Barino, and I am playing Starcraft Mass Recall, a Starcraft Brood War remake in Starcraft 2. This mission is the New Dominion. It's the third Zerg mission, which is the second campaign episode. This mission, I think I used to just make a billion Mutalisks to win. Maybe we can duplicate that.
Behold the power of that which is yet unborn. For the swirling images that flow forth from the chrysalis are only a shadow of the sleeper's true power.
The psionic emanations of the chrysalis have reached out into the depths of space and lured our enemies to us. Even now, we are aware of their plans.
All squadrons close formation. Scan for hostiles. Emperor Arcturus believes that there's Zerg out here, so it's our job to flush them out. I don't want any slip-ups this time. We'll show these critters that they can't run from the truth.
Engage the Terran forces with care. Your priority is to protect the chrysalis at all costs.
General Duke doesn't want any slip-ups this time? Have I had a run-in with him in a previous life where he made a silly mistake, like slipping on a banana peel when he was about to destroy the chrysalis, or... Alright. Cool, so this mission I don't think you get any new units like you did, like you do in most other missions. I think it's just, Hydralisks, Mutalisks, Zerglings again. Here's the mature chrysalis. I'm very happy that they gave it this model because in the original game it definitely looked kind of like a penis. And if you played it, you know exactly what I mean. Yeah, so there is an expansion up here that I want to take rather quick. Because the way I used to beat this mission, as I've said before, is I would make like 48-ish Mutalisks and wipe the map. Because honestly, I've never beat it any other way. Like, I've probably played this mission at least 15 times in my entire life, and every time that's how I beat it. And I've tried doing it conventionally with Zerglings and Hydralisks, and the problem is the Terran have bunkers and siege tanks on a ridge, and you're funneled up a ramp to get to them. So you just can't really do it with ground forces. You just need a bunch of Mutalisks. But there's also enough Marines that you can't just make like 10 Mutalisks to take the tanks out. You have to, you just really have to make more stuff. Or you just really have to make only Mutalisks. I have a spawning pool, right? Okay. So I want to get my defense up here. Or at least get a creep colony. It's worth noting that your units don't get a speed bonus from being on creep. So see, now I'm off creep and it's still 2.11. Let's just get this for early defense until I make enough units that I can move up here and take this out. So I just want to make a bunch of, not a bunch, but enough Zerglings where I can just, you know, casually stroll up that ramp and make a hatchery. Now, in the original Brood War, all the attacks would come right over here. So I'd make my hatchery and then just make sunken colonies right down this line, right down this ridge here, and it was like an excellent, excellent defense. So honestly, I wonder if I can just attack with what I have. And I'm certainly going to try. You get out. Cool, didn't lose anything, and I can expand right away. So, that's exactly what needed to happen, and the sooner that I can take this, the better. I'm just going to keep these units up here for now, and I'm hoping that the Terran don't come from a different direction. I'm trying to think. The AI's been very accurate so far. You can mark that off your checklist of things Jay Barino says in every episode. It's accurate in all the other levels, such that if I expect them to come only from this direction, I assume that's the only direction they'll come from. But who knows, maybe they'll come from this ramp. No idea. And getting supply block. Woo! I don't really need any Hydralisk upgrades. I don't really need any of those upgrades. I'm just going to go to Lair and just try and start making Mutalisks. And the more Mutalisks I have, the more I could just use for defense later. So it seems like it would be the best plan. And I am going to just make a bunch of sunken colonies along this ridge. But the attacks in...
Our forces are under attack.
Oh, jeez. Get out, get out, get out. Okay, lost a Mutalisk. Gonna lose a Hydralisk. Given the amount of stuff that they had, that could have been a lot worse. Okay. I was gonna say, as I was saying, on hard mode, the attacks that come against you at one time just are a lot more, like much larger, more worrisome. So let's transfer some drones up here.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
Oh, I don't have any. Okay, I didn't have any overlords. I was wondering why I was saying minerals. It's because I was hitting SV, but S wasn't selecting any of these, so V was defaulting to vengeful sacks. I'm going to wait for my creep to expand a little bit. I'd like to get as close to the edge as possible so that I can build my colonies there. Maybe I should make just a few more Hydralisks for defense? Or I could just go straight, or I could go Zorglings for defense. Metabolic boost never hurts, so let's definitely just get that.
Require more minerals.
Ultimately, it's going to be gas that I'm going to be short on for those Mutalisks, so that's why I'm getting it rather early. Okay, and I really just want to get some defense. I feel kind of exposed. Okay, so the sooner I can do this, the better. Wraiths might come over here, so I'll probably just get like a spore colony or two in my mineral line. Okay, my spire's coming along. Keep making drones and overlords. I'll get 4 on this extractor. Make my second extractor up here. And keep making drones. Here's my sunken colonies. Okay. This is going to be a great defense as they just stroll by these. They're on the high ground, so the enemies below them have a 30% miss chance. I just heard evolution complete 3 times. Alright. Sorry, I said that as if I was, like, upset. I was just kind of like, oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's get my +1 attack right away. Maybe I should get Carapace. Nah, attack.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Alright, see? And it works great. Granted, those are only vultures, so it's not like they're doing a lot of damage, but I'll take it. Okay. So I could start my Mutalisks. Let me get some Overlords. I really just want to make more defense up here. I know I've said in a previous episode and during the Terran campaign that I had a weakness of making too much static D, but I feel like this is just too perfect. Like, it's just the perfect place to have static defense. Like, you have the high ground and vision directly on where they're coming at you from, so why would you just not take advantage of that? Okay. Looking good. I'm liking where my... Let's put another drone on this just to make sure it's fully saturated. Okay. Oh, so a really awesome thing that is in this is that Overlords always detect. Always. It's pretty incredible. There's no such thing as an Overseer. It's just they always detect. So as Zerg, you pretty much never have to worry about things that you can't see. Spore colonies still detect like normal. Let me get an Evo chamber so that I can make these into spore colonies in case I need to worry about wraiths coming into this expansion up here. And let's start our Mutalisks. And I'm going to get a second hatchery as well. Or a third hatchery, I should say. Just for production's sake. In fact, I could probably get a 4th one. Evolution chamber's still not done. Just a real minor thing. I think in StarCraft 2 the Evo chamber build time's a little shorter, only because they probably wanted to make it so that it was easier to get spore crawlers if you needed. Granted, with Heart of the Swarm they made it so you don't even need an Evo chamber. You can just make them with a hatchery as long as you had a hatchery. So that's pretty nice. Scourge. I can make Scourge. Scourge are essentially the banelings of the air. They hatch 2 per egg, and they crash into things and suicide. So they were pretty much banelings before banelings existed. Okay. Might as well keep some Hydralisks just in case, because I don't want to end up losing speed of overloads. I don't want to end up losing my expansion just because all I have are some sunken colonies. I do have enough Mutalisks, though, that they probably can hold the fort if I need. Let's make sure I don't get supply blocked. Really tempted to get another hatchery. Gonna do it. So I've got a good income here. I've got 12 Mutalisks already, and I'm looking to quadruple that number before I move out. I don't know if it's necessary, but it sure is going to be fun, and I should have the money to do it. Okay, so I'm just kind of scouting out. I don't think there are other expansions to take on this map. The one I did take, though, sure is real convenient. That is a very large bio ball. Now that they're attacking my Sunkens, I can move in with the Mutalisk, because I don't want my Mutalisks to get destroyed by Marines. So basically, I want them to come in, begin attacking my static defense, then you can go in with the Mutalisks, because then the Mutalisks won't be taking most of the damage. Okay, just keep up with the Mutalisks. I assume that that round's going to make me close to supply blocked. It is! Okay, I'll add that hatchery to my hatchery control group. For some reason, I decided to increase my Overlord move speed, because I don't really have a reason. You know why? I'm going to bring Overlords with me, because if they have Wraiths that can cloak, then I need to be able to see them and destroy them. And if they can stay cloaked, they'll eat my Mutalisks alive, because Wraiths are very good air-on-air. Okay. Just scouting out, seeing what's going on. See, here's some tanks. I don't know if you want to pick them off and then get out. Okay, let's not engage. I probably just lost a Mutalisk. Okay, still getting supply blocked. Let's build more Overlords. Alright. So, yeah, unfortunately there's no other base to take, so it's kind of like an all or nothing, which is why I do a bit of an overkill. 1, because it's fun to make that many Mutalisks, and 2, because if I fail, I can't do like 2 half-ass attacks. I need to do 1 full-on attack, because I can't really rebuild it. You can stack Mutalisks pretty darn well in Starcraft, and it looks like they replicated the ability to do so. Look at that. So, like, I can fly all my Mutalisks like this. I don't think stacking Mutalisks is necessary at all in the single-player campaign, nor am I very good at it, so I'm not going to do it. Until Valkyries come, way later in Episode 5, you don't really have to worry about splash damage killing your Mutalisks. Archons, maybe. But we're facing Terran, there are no Archons. The Archon splash damage in StarCraft Brood War, from my perspective, was always a little tenuous, because I never really saw it in action, but that's also because I didn't play much multiplayer against people who stack Mutalisks. Okay, it looks like Terran's moving out on me again. That's a lot of fire bats. But oh look, I have a ton of Mutalisks. Carnage. How many do I have? So this is 36, I think, yeah. Or no, this is 24. So 8 times 4 is 32, plus 5 is 37. So I'm about where I want to be. Sure, let's make some more. So this is 42, and I said, what, 48? Would be my end of the line, but at the same time, I don't really feel like sitting around waiting for more gas. My extractors still got a decent amount of gas in them. This mission seems... Okay, the attacks they're throwing at me are much, much harder, much larger than I remember in the original game, but that's also because this is hard mode, and as I've explained, the attacks are larger and harder. The difference, though, is I feel like I am able to build these Mutalisks way faster than I used to be able to. Though the reasoning for that is maybe just because I understand how important making more drones is. And when I was younger, I would make like 10 drones, just because it was a nice even number, regardless of how many mineral patches were there and all that stuff. So, that was pretty much how that cookie crumbled. How the cookie crumbled. That's from a movie with Jim Carrey in it, I think. And he made that joke at the beginning, and it didn't go over well. really bad cultural reference from the early 2000s / late 90s. Okay, I have enough Mutalisks. Let's finish this. I would have liked to have gotten my 2-2, but I'm not waiting for that. I could auto-attack, but that's not fun, right? Just clean them out. This is another mission that's pretty much a, you know, kill everything, but I think if you destroy most of the production buildings, then it ends. Like, General Duke comes on and tells them to retreat, and then it just ends, as opposed to making you destroy them all. Why they chose that for this mission and neglected to do it for any of the other ones is beyond me, but, you know, who knows what Blizzard was thinking in 1996 and 1997. They sure made it some good games, but some of the random decisions they made didn't make that much sense. Okay. See how just those Marines just absolutely melt to this amount of Mutalisks because of the bounce and... oh boy. Getting this many Mutalisks in multiplayer is like a dream of every Zerg player. Let's just keep pushing through here. It's a lot of siege tanks. See, like, can you imagine trying to run through here with Hydralisks and Zerglings? The only place you can go is up these 2 ramps. Is this a ramp? Yeah, these 2 ramps. Jeez. Let's finish up the command center. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna leave the supply depots to see if the mission still ends after I destroy the production buildings. Oh man. Look how much damage that barracks took just from the bounce damage. It's awesome. Destroy the bunker, destroy the turret. Cool. So I think we won. Hey, I didn't bring those overlords like I said I would, but it doesn't seem like they can cloak. Lucky me. Alright, it's gonna end. Oh wait, there's a bunker still. There we go.
Alright, you sorry bastards. Fall back. Fall back!
Hold, Cerebrate. Do not pursue them.
Cerebrate, you must stay and relocate the chrysalis to a more secure location. Dagoth shall deal with the remaining Terran forces.
Cool, so I have a small question, and that is, why don't I just make 48 Mutalisks every mission? Because I never used to do that. There must have been a reason. Like, next mission, I always used to, like, drop Hydralisks when I should just make a billion Mutalisks. Let's, I guess, give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. I'll see you then. Talk to you later. This is Jay Barino, playing some more Starcraft Mass Recall.